All right, good morning, everyone. Today we'd like to go over the big chapter we were talking about personal relationships. This is a subcategory when you meet people from different cultural background. So you have to know, you have to make your communication skill to have better relationships with people coming from when you encounter different cultural background. Okay, this chapter, small chapter, is a cross-cultural communication in relationships. Actually, when we want to make the relationship with people coming from different cultural background, first thing you have to do, you have to equip, you have to kind of have a very skillful to make relationship which is cultural sensitivity. Cultural sensitivity. That is, we cover that topic uh, from many previous lectures. One more time, I'm gonna emphasize what that mean is. Cultural sensitivity is once you you meet people, you have to navigate the cultural differences. When you meet someone from different cultural background, like any other countries, any other ethnic groups, let's say you meet people from some country in Africa. The navigation means you navigate. You have to first recognize what their culture is like. Okay? And then once you recognize the what their culture is like, then you have to recognize, understand. Okay, that's what their culture is like. Then navigate, recognize, understand. The next step is you accept their culture. You compare the cultural difference from yours to other culture. Then if there are any different cultural, you know, uh, different cultures, then you accept. That is cultural sensitivity. First, you navigate, you recognize their culture, and then you find out the differences, then you accept. Okay, that is cultural sensitivity. For actually, once you want to make a cultural, the relationship, you have to recognize there are many different type of communication styles based on their different cultural background, right? So some culture has some kind of taboo when you communicate with people, right? Some gestures, some body language, facial expression, those are all different from cultures. So that's what we have to know. And certain words, phrase, that might be, a different meaning. Some gestures, uh, it is kind of taboo in Asian culture. Actually, Korean culture, we don't do some kind of body sign to elders. When you call the elders in Korean culture, we don't do this. Okay, we don't do this like finger. Yeah, so that is very rude in Korean culture. Actually, when you want to, you know, when you want someone to come too close to you, actually you have to give a, sign like when you make eye contact, you give um, words, you give kind of bow. Uh, those things are kind of polite things, but when you do like fingers, it is very rude in Korean culture. So that's the example. All different culture have different meaning of body language and some words and facial expression too. So we have to aware those things. Okay. Next. Okay, some cultures also rely heavily on contextual cues. Um, it is kind of, people, it is based on the culture. Some culture really put weight on high context communication style. Some culture put weight on low contextual communication style. Okay, in this slide, high context and low context. That is, pretty rare terms. We seldom heard those terms. But high contextual means here. Okay, in dictionary definition, it says high context culture is like culture or society that communicates dominantly through the use of contextual element, like specific forms of body language and or status of individual and the tone of voice that employs during the speech. It is like rules are not direct, implicit, or written or state. Okay, high contextual. It is simple. Okay, it is more like indirect communication style. When you miss someone who prefer high contextual communication skill style, you always need to focus the someone's body language and then true meaning of the language they use, facial expression, all it comes together. Okay, when someone has those kind of communication style, they mostly do indirect communication style they use. So you have to truly find out the true meaning of their communication, what their true meaning for the communication. Okay, that's the most important part. That's high contextual. In other words, that is very complex to understand. Okay? Because we have to know their body language, body motion, gestures, facial expression. Those are all included in their communication style. Also, when they talk, they don't want to talk directly. Okay? So you have to find out the true meaning of their communication, what they want to deliver, what their message is like, what their opinion is like, what their idea is like. Okay, that's high contextual. Okay, also, okay, there are another terms, low contextual. That is a simple communication. Okay, in another word, that is direct communication. You just understand when they deliver their messages with low contextual communication style, you understand right away. Okay, the way they want to talk is like, I want this, I want that, something like that. Yeah. Very simple, very understandable gesture and words, languages they use. That's low contextual. Very simple. Okay. High contextual, very complex, complicated. Okay, that's what the differences between those high contextual, low contextual. Okay, also last topic, some culture maybe prefer direct confrontational style. Okay, here direct confrontational communication style, that is low context. Okay, low contextual communication style. And then while others they want to use, they prioritize their communication style, which is based on the culture. The culture is like, they give more important values for harmonies, society, individual harmony, and indirect communication style. Okay, also some culture they like to avoid conflicts. Okay, that is related to indirect communication style. Indirect communication style, they have more values. When they communicate, it is harmony. Okay, and then avoiding conflicts, they are more focused on those things. Okay, they want to deliver their messages, but they also consider they don't want the argument, they don't want conflicts. They try to more focus on the harmonies between people. That's indirect communication or high contextual communication. Okay? Direct confrontational communication, that is low contextual. Okay? They talk direct. It is simple. The way they use is very simple, very understandable. That is low contextual. Okay, next slide. Okay, to have better communication in people with to make good relationship, people from different cultural background. This is very important. You recognize, you navigate the cultural difference, you understand how their culture is different from us, then you accept, you recognize, okay, that's what their culture is, okay. Accept means, you recognize, you understand the cultural difference, okay. You don't deny, oh, it is like, it is not like their culture is bad, their culture is good, their culture is right or wrong. It is nothing like that. Excuse me. So, once you recognize the cultural differences, you understand, then you have to make kind of connection between two different cultures. We call that's the bridge between different cultures. Actually, cultural gap, right? American culture, Asian culture, African culture, South, Southeast Asian culture, all different. But when you wanna make connection, when you wanna make communicate, you have to make bridge to reduce the cultural gaps. That is very important. Okay, making bridge between cultural gap requires some kind of efforts, okay, which is we need to have patience, we have to have humility, and then we have to have commitment. You have to, actually, once you make up mind to reduce cultural gap, and then you want to make a bridge between two different cultures, you have to become very patient to understand. Also, you have to be patient to make them understand culture yourself. Also, we have to mindset, which is humility, kind of humble mind you have to make. And then, actually, once you make your mind up, then you go action. That is, uh, the requirements we need to do to make bridges. So that is simple. Bridge means we make connection. Okay? Then we understand each other. That is cultural bridge. So it depends on the efforts, how you invest in different cultural communication that can give us outcomes, which is a strong relationship. Okay, we can have, once you build strong relationship with people who is from different culture, then you make good collaboration, better collaboration. Okay, also personally, you kind of grow yourself. Okay, you you recognize, you understand. There are many different people who are coming from many different culture, so you kind of expand your knowledges, your philosophies. Yeah, that's how we build ourselves, how we grow inside, spiritually, mentally. Okay, once we meet different culture, oh, okay, they have their different value systems. So you understand, you recognize, then you become, feel like you are growing inside of yourself. So to do this, we have to invest the time, okay, in learning about their different culture. And then also we have to do interact with others who is different culture. Okay, to do this, investing time means we have to actually try to study their histories, their traditions, and their values, and also their communication styles. Okay, how they are different from your culture. That's the study. By studying histories, traditions, etc., something like that. Also, you have to have a certain mindset to make bridge. Always, you have to be open mind. Okay? Try to understand any differences, accept they have their own value systems about their culture. So, open mind means, in another word, you are not judging. Okay? Okay, that is bad, that is right, wrong, something like that. Okay? You don't want to have judgmental mind. That is very important to understand other culture. Open mind, non-judgmental mindset. Also, another emphasis I want to make is active listening. Active listening means you just don't hear the words they speak. Okay? You try to understand contextual meaning. Okay? What they want to deliver with their languages, words, body languages, gestures. So, not just hearing the words they speak up. Okay, you need to find out the true meaning of their messages. Okay, so it is active listening. So to do this better, you always have pay attention to their words, their tones, high tone, low tones, and non-verbal cues like gestures, motions, facial expressions, eye contacts. Those are all included in non-verbal. Also, when you have question, you could ask question. Okay, because when we communicate with people from other cultures, sometimes you need to make clarification, because some words, some action, some value system that is different from yours. Okay, some culture, they put more value on certain phenomena, but you put lower value or same phenomena, right? So you have to kind of clarification. Means what there are true meaning of certain words or certain actions, you have to understand it. Also, you have to make yourself understood what your true meaning of your words and actions. That's the clarification. Okay, so when something arises you don't understand, you have to ask, okay, question. That is not rude, okay? It is because you want to make clarification. All right. Okay, next slide. Also, we want to keep, going the skills, the techniques you need to equip to have better communication, better connection. Okay, that is bridging between cultural gaps. Also, you have to have empathy mind. All right. So I emphasize this many times. Empathy mind. Simply, you put yourself. Let's say you put yourself someone else's shoe. Right. Once you are okay. That means you put yourself in someone else's shoe. That means everybody has different size of shoes, right? So when some shoes you fit right, some shoes it is too big for your foot. Yeah, some shoes too small to fit your foot. That's the how you change, how you adapt your style to other cultures. So when you have small shoes, it is very uncomfortable to walk, to exercise, right? So you understand the feelings they have. People with small, shoes. That's the empathy. Meaning in dictionary means you put yourself, you have someone else's perspective. Okay, that's the dictionary meaning. Okay, empathy means you are in the view of someone else's perspective. Okay, someone else's point of view, someone else's worldview, someone else's philosophy. That is empathy. Then, once you have that kind of mind, you truly try to understand their situations. Okay, also, another skill that you have is you don't want to have a stereotype. Okay, that is the concept. It is fixed in your mind. it is kind of judgmental mind, okay? Or some culture that is very bad, that is very, good or right and wrong. That is stereotype. It is opposite mind of open, non-judgmental mind. Okay? So you don't want to have a stereotype mind. Also, kind of, a similar words can be stereotype. In another word, you could say prejudice, right? Yeah, that is also the mindset in certain setting, in certain phenomena. You always have values, okay, in your perspectives. So that is prejudice. So we don't want to have those things too. Prejudice. The value you are putting high in your culture, you give more value, you give more importance on that value, right? But in some culture, same setting, same phenomena, same social activity, that is very low value. Okay, it is not important in their culture. But once you have prejudice, you are judging someone who doesn't give high value on certain action or certain words, certain social phenomena, anything. So we don't want to have stereotype and prejudice mind. That is important. So another technique we have to have is adaptability. Okay. First, you have to pay attention if their communication style is direct or indirect or high contextual or low contextual. If their communication style is formal or informal, you have to make up mind. You want to adjust your communication style based on their communication style. So once we want to adjust our communication style, that helps. We can have better communication. Also, some basic languages in different countries, right? When you meet new people from different culture, it is better that you know some kind of their greeting in their own language, right? Like hello in America, maybe in China, ni hao, maybe in Japan, konnichiwa, something like that. In Korea, 안녕하세요. Yeah, you have to know that those kind of things. That's basic greetings. That means you express, okay, you show your respect, your efforts to accept their culture. So that is it is simple, very effective once you know some kind of basic grading your words or phrases. That is really help. Also, nonverbal communications. People have different meaning of their action, their gestures. So you have to know. Sometimes you have to be very careful not to use certain, hand signs, gestures, body languages. Because some culture, certain gesture is very taboo in in their culture, right? So you have to know what the different meaning of some gestures, body languages, and even the words. Okay, last another technique. You have to very patient. Patient means you need more. You need to have more time. You need to have more efforts to understand other culture. Also, you have to try. You have to give more time, more efforts to make yourself understood by themselves. That is patient. Okay, there are sometimes unfortunate thing happens because some misinterpretation and misunderstandings happening between two different cultures, right? So always you have the open mind, non-judgmental mind. You promote diversity, the difference. Okay. Also inclusive mind. Yeah. You have open mind. You take everything. That helps you understand the cultural differences. Also, you have to give some participation, learning in cultural differences, cultural diversities, or cultural sensitivities. There are many seminars, programs you can attend and giving you training to understand other cultures. It is really helps. That helps a lot for us to understand different cultures. Also, sometimes you need to ask guidance or some, if you have mentor who have, knowledges about different culture, you could ask them. The certain action is the true meaning of certain action in their culture or certain word, whatever, right? So you have to have guidance who knows very well about their cultures. You could have mentors too. Also, you have to very familiarize yourself with workplace culture and norms. Norm is kind of standard, right? Yeah. Everybody share, common ground, something in common. Yeah, that is norms. So when we have, people with many different cultures, there's anyhow, there are some kind of culture in the workplace. You have to know that too. Also, it is important that you share your own culture, your own experience with others. That means you can create the connections between two different culture. Actually, exchanging of your story with others that builds connection, and then we can make better understanding. It is helping that you make relationship by sharing your cultural um, you know culture and your experience, like share your stories. That helps. Okay. Also, another skill, always, you better ask feedback from others. Always, if you're not certain on some culture, when you do some kind of action or some words, ask them how they feel about, what you're saying and what your action is like. Okay, that is important to have feedbacks. Okay, also some culture, um, there are also, the structure relationship. It is some culture are more comfortable with hierarchical structure, or some other culture they want to have more egalitarian approach. Okay, hierarchical structure, egalitarian approach, that is two different meaning. It is simple. Okay, egalitarian means everybody is equal, everybody has the same right, same opportunity. Okay, I'm not saying it is bad or right. Okay, but some Asian culture, we are more like, hierarchical structure. I have boss. In the company, in Asian culture, there are many different levels, right, to work together. But in American culture, Western culture, they don't want to have many different level of the position, level of authority, right? So that is egalitarian approach culture. Most likely, for example, most likely in Asian culture, we prefer hierarchical structure. There are many different levels of authority. Yeah. Okay, so every culture, they have their own system. Okay, they have their own social norms. They have their own taboo. They have their own social value systems. So we have to know that. We have to understand that. Okay, another skill, listening. Always do active listening. Some culture, but most culture, like for example, American culture, they people more like to uh, have show their messages, their ideas to other by speaking. So more people like to have to speak than listen. So American culture, more people like to speak more. But in some cultures in Asia, people like to hear than to speak. So you have to know the difference. Some culture prefer hearing. Some culture prefer speaking. So you have to know the difference, and then you need to understand the difference. People always have different listening style. Okay, cultural sensitivity is the most important to make relationships. Okay, it has significant impact to build relationship. Okay, so you need a strategy to make bridge, reduce cultural gaps in between different cultures. You always try avoid misunderstandings, misinterpretations. That is important. Also, a multilingual and multicultural relationship. We are living in America, right? There are many different languages. There are many different cultural relationships. So, challenges, benefits of multilinguals and multicultural relationships. We always face every day. So, effective communications in diverse relationship in context. So, people have different communication style. So, you have to know that. Some culture prefer hierarchical. Some people prefer egalitarian. Some people, want to do indirect or direct, high contextual, low contextual. There are all differences. So you have to know there are many diverse communication style, many diverse relationships. So you have to always promote inclusive. You have to respect all cultures, cross-cultural relationships. That's how we make relationships with people who are from different cultural background. Okay, next slide is that's so far that's the this slide is different from cross-cultural relationships. It is kind of sometimes we are making relationships with people who apart from long distance. So this is not, you just recognize this slide. There are also close relationship in your workplace, professional relationships, right? You meet people who have different cultural background, cross-cultural relationships. friendship relationship, family relationship, romantic relationships, professional relationships, right? So this is also, another type of relationship, the long distance relationship. Nowadays, people make long distance relationships, right? With advanced technology, we make connection with people on the other side of the globe, right? So this slide is talking about that kind of relationships. Always with long distance relationship, there are challenges to have a communication better. So that is time zone differences, right? Everybody lives in different time zone. In America, daytime. In Asia, nighttime. So that's the time zone differences. Also, always limited physical presence. There are technical issues. Nowadays, internet is everywhere, right? But some countries still have, technical issues. Like, the connection is low, connection is unstable. I mean, the internet connection. So those kind of things happens, so often. Yeah. Also, the communication frequencies. With challenges, time zone differences, physical presences, technical issues, we don't have many, connections, communications. So also, it is important how many times you communicate with people who are in long distance. Sometimes, because we are apart, far away, there are something happens, misinterpretations of messages. Also, there are, the issue is different communication preferences. Okay, let's say couples apart from each other, far away. The girlfriend wanna use phone. She like to hear the actual voice of her boyfriend, but the boyfriend prefer using emails, right? So that might be the challenges because there are different communication preferences. Also, there's communication fatigue. If you do many, in Korean culture, boyfriend, girlfriend, they exchange messages, talks, phone calls many times. In the morning, they do several times. Afternoon, honey, did you have lunch? Or and afternoon, and the dinner time. Yeah, it is like more than more than I think 10 times. Yeah, that's normal in Korea. But in some culture, they don't even communicate once in a day, right? Some cultures. So that's the difference. Well, when they have too many communications, it feels like fatigue. Same thing happens over and over again. You don't give values, right? Same thing happens every time, every day. That's the fatigue. Yeah. Okay, that was up to long distance communication. Now we like to cover the most final summaries and the outcomes that we learned. So in this chapter, we're gonna cover how we can practice, how we exercise, how we actively active, what we learned from previous lectures. Okay, okay, we learn there are many different communication theories, right? And then also we learn there are many different type of communication styles. Okay, also we learn based on the communication style, there are many different relationships in our world, like family, friendship relationships. We have a professional relationship in workplace. We have a digital relationship in, a virtual world, right? We do talks, we do exchange the messages, we do YouTube, right? So virtual relationships. Also, there are other type of relationship, that is cross-cultural relationships. In cross-cultural relationship, people use different communication style. So we went through those things. So in this chapter, we like to practice things that we learn from previous lectures. Then practical exercise activities are very, very valuable for developing developing in our communication skill. The consistently you practice, that is key to improve your communication skills. You try to tailor, you have to make the communication style accustomed to yourself. Then you exercise to certain specific area of improvement that gradually work for you to make difference of your communication style. So every day, not like every day, frequent practice help you have better communication skills. So everyday practice. These are techniques, skills you have to keep in your mind, right? When you practice, you always have active listening practice. So it is like you pair up with your partner, husband and wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, couples, and then you take turns the speaking, okay? Once you speak, other person let them hear, I mean, your husband and wife, let them hear, listen. So, you give feedback, you receive feedback from the listeners. So practice those things. Okay? So listeners summarize what they heard to understand the speaker's message accurately. Okay? It is important. Listening practice. Okay? Active listening. Another skill we have to practice, role-playing scenario. Okay? Create any kind of scenario. Once you are in restaurant, once you are in debate, once you are in academic presentation, once you are in company professional presentation, make any situations, scenario, then take the role. Like you are boss in your company, or you are in a professor in the lecture, you are doing kind of job interview, you are doing customer service, make any situation, then practice it. That helps a lot. That's role-playing scenario. Also, if you have any chance to attend workshop for speaking, actually public speaking, try to attend. Learn from that attendance. I mean, it could be seminars, it could be lectures. So try to find out those things and attend it, then learn it. So attend public speaking or communication workshop or lecture classes in your community or online. There are many. If you Google, you can find out many of those things. Try to practice debate, discussion groups. Join any debate, discussion group. When you feel like you can exchange, you can have a meaningful conversation, then practice it. Okay? You can practice delivering your messages, your ideas, opinions, reasons that help you make you can support your own argument. Okay? Also, you have to have a skill to listen others' point of view. Yeah. So it is important practicing debate, discussion. Another practice we like to have is storytelling practice. It is similar, you create the scenarios, right? But storytelling is more like you make the novels. I mean, you make the story. Then you can have any kind of situation, any kind of story. Maybe it could be a fictional story, any review for the movies, anything. So if you want to work on your storytelling skill by choosing anything, it could be personal, social, whatever. Okay? So that helps you. Actually, you could narrative the communication style. All right. Another practice you want to do is impromptu speaking. Sometimes you have challenged yourself and or your partner to choose random topics, objects, speak about for the set of amount of time. It could be any social issues like news topics. You could have any. Yeah. You could have any speaks about those topics. So that helps you have a better communication style. Okay. Another practice we like to have is nonverbal communication exercise. Okay, practice nonverbal communication like you practice your body language, you practice your facial expression, you practice your gesture, you practice the tone of your voice, high tone, low tone, you know. It is important. When you practice nonverbal communication, you record yourself. Okay? Then you review yourself with the recordings. It is important. Okay, most singers, when they practice, they record their singing, then review later, right? That helps a lot. So, nonverbal communication exercise is very important too when you want to make good communication skill. Okay. Also, another practice we like to have is phone or video call conversation. Okay, sometimes we use texting and email, right? But try to have voice video call conversation with friends and families. That helps. Okay, with phone call, with video call, we only not we only not recognize the words only, right? We also recognize the meaning of the facial expression when you call. We can feel like the emotions by exchange the tone of the speak, how you deliver your messages, right? Sometimes you feel like someone is very like tired, someone is very emotionally anxious. You can feel it, right, when you call or you do video calls. So also that helps practice those things, because by recognizing the emotions, gestures, body languages, facial expressions, you can feel how they you can recognize how they feel when they deliver their the messages. Also, practice mirror communication. Practice a mirror exercise. Okay, like it could be good for couples practice each other. Let your wife copy yourself. Okay, that helps a lot. Yeah. So, uh, you can recognize. Oh, that's how I speak by mirroring your own communication style, right? So that helps. That practice is very helpful. And then also try to receive feedbacks and critics. Okay, after giving some kind of presentation, speech, any kind of discussion, always request feedbacks, critics from peer group or mentors, any kind of person that make you improve your communication style. Also, you have to do written communication practice. You try to write article. Try to copy any article, any news in newspaper. That helps. Try to make essays. Try to make everyday journals. That helps a lot. Okay. Also, try to participate in network events. Okay, attend any network events. Like there are many conferences, seminars online, right? So try to participate in and practice. Doing introducing yourself. Try to be engaged in small talk, and also you could make professional connections. This is the next topic I want to practice really is the communication challenges. It is kind of habit. When I speak, I use like those things. I don't want to use it, but naturally I use like those we say it is filler words. Yeah, I use many times. So I don't want to use it. So practice not using those filler words. They make you like more professional, make you like better a communicator. So that is communication challenges. When you speak, when you communicate with others, try not to use some filler words. Like many teenagers use like, right? Okay, and then cross-cultural communication practice. It is important. You try to be in any conversation with people from different cultural backgrounds. So that means you understand their culture. Actually, cross-cultural means cultural sensitivity, right? Cultural sensitivity means you navigate people's cultural background, you understand, recognize their culture are different from yours, then you kind of accept their cultures. It is non-judgmental, okay? Bad or right, wrong, right, bad or good. We don't want to do that, okay? First, you understand cultural difference, you accept it, then you try to make connection between two different cultural gaps. That is cultural sensitivity. So if you practice, if you know the cultural background, if you practice more different, cultural communication, you can develop your cultural sensitivity. So try, not to, try any engagement in, you can experience cultural differences. Eventually, you learn how we are different, how our culture are different, and then you can develop your cultural sensitivity. Cultural sensitivity is you recognize, you navigate the culture, people's culture, and know that you understand the differences, you accept it, then you try to make the connection between two different cultures. That's cultural sensitivity. Okay, try to practice, play any storytelling games. Okay, two stories, lie or story cubes. Practice, improvisational storytelling and creativity. It helps that you could have a better communication style. Also, practice conflict resolution role playing. Try to make a situation, a scenario, conflict scenarios with a partner, your husband and wife, couples. Practice resolving the conflicts. Okay, when you practice resolving conflicts, try to use techniques that you learn from this lecture. Okay, active listening, empathy mind, compromise, cultural differences. Try to use those things when you resolve the conflicts. Okay, also journaling is very important to practice. Practice communication style. Okay? Keep journaling every day. Okay? Journaling means from journal you reflect on your daily communication experience, challenges, success. That helps eventually make better communicator. By journaling itself, that helps you become aware of yourself. Okay? Because we reflect our daily activities, conversations, we do every day, right? So that reflects yourself. Eventually, it grow yourself. And then in communicate that make you better communicator. I think this is all about today's slide. Okay, one more. I'd like to do. Okay. Here Okay, important. Also, try to use these apps too. Okay, in here I have the URL posted. There are many different language learning apps. Okay, that helps a lot. Okay, try to use those things. And then for professional, have you guys heard of TED Talk? TED Talk, yeah. That is way more powerful than actually YouTube. Okay, yeah. Yeah, try to copy, yeah, the presentation in TED Talks. Okay, that's the last slide for today. Yeah. If you copy, presenter in tactile, you become more professional when you do a public presentation, public speak. Yeah. Okay, I think that's all for today. Any questions? Okay. Anything you want to say? All right. So yeah, let's wrap up today. All right. Thank you, everyone.